Hello again from the Eurobike trade show in Friedrichshafen, Germany. I'm John Stevenson from BikeRadar.com, and I'm here with Volker Dorman from Stevens on the Stevens booth, looking at a really interesting prototype of a new cyclocross bike. This is a sector, isn't it, Volker, that you really dominate here in Germany?
We are very good in cyclocross. We have several world championships. We have won something like 25 German national titles. So cyclocross is something that we are starting 8 years ago. And we are very successful with the frame of Niels Albert, of Hanka Kupfernagel, of Marianne Voss. So when there's a world championship, it could be that 3 gold medals are won on the same frame. Last July, the UCI made disc brakes legal. So I had several riders calling me saying, Volker, I need more brake power in the races. Can you make a special bike with disc brakes for me? So we have tested several disc brakes and also used a new frame and a new fork which is specifically made for disc brakes. This is the big front fork. We see the integrated cable channel, so it is really nicely matching the fork shape. You have here the post mount assembly of the brake body. You have a 160mm rotor. These are specially Scorpo Stevens made full carbon wheels. And you do not have the problem that the carbon wheel has no brake power. It's all in here. And you see the mud clearance, which was always a problem with cyclocross brakes. The mud clearance is phenomenal, and we expect that the rider will also benefit from no mud getting stuck in the front fork. So far, the cable-activated disc that you see here is the thing that we can sell, but I expect that in the next years we will have a combination of Shimano Di2 drivetrains and hydraulic disc brakes, which could also be a good way for the road bikes, not only for cyclocross. Okay, here you see the top tube where the brake cable enters the top tube, and you do not see the brake cable at all. It is completely hidden and it's invisible. And here the brake cable pops up again. It comes out of the seat stay, going into the rear brake, and the same is happening on the right chainstay. The Di2 cable, which is a very tiny cable by the way, is exiting the frame directly in front of the rear derailleur, and you have a very clean design with completely internal cables. Here you see a little sign. It's Stevens is the bike best ever had. Niels Albert and Sanne Kant, the Belgian top riders, they said this to me because they tried many other brands and they are very satisfied with the Stevens quality.
While Stevens dominates in cyclocross, they aren't just about off-road bikes, they're also very strong in road bikes. I'm joined by Marianne Voss, who's been riding Stevens for the last couple of years and in that time has clocked up 3 world championships. Congratulations. So you've had an extraordinarily good bike to ride this year. Let's take a look at the bike that Stevens has for you for next year, which is a whole kilo lighter.
Yeah, it's a really innovative bike, and he can tell you all about it.
Okay. So the SLC team was very successful, but we have new targets now. We made one of the lightest bikes on the planet. The frame weighs only 790 grams. We have a specially German-made THM fork for 285 grams, and we put together a nice show bike which weighs something like 2 kilos less than the UCI weight limit.
Okay, would you like to talk us through the details of the frame that have allowed you to get down to that extraordinarily low weight?
Sure. The frame itself has some nice features like cable entries on the down tube and on the chainstay that are for internal cables, but they are replaceable, and you can have mechanical rear derailleur and front derailleur cables, but you can also have Di2 wires inside and you just replace the entry. So it's a universal frame that is compatible to all the Shimano, SRAM, Campagnolo, Di2 and mechanical versions, and has a fork that costs the same price as a frame. It's made in North Germany, THM. It's a very nice workshop that builds not even the lightest fork, but also the lightest cranksets, the THM Clavicula M3. We have a Fibula THM brake. And just to give you an example, such a brake costs 1,000 euro, the crankset even more. We have an AX lightness seat post and saddle. Continental made some nice tires for us, tubulars of course, which weigh below 200 grams, AX lightness rim and tune hubs. And you can buy all this material. It costs only 9,999 euro, and you have one of the lightest bikes on the planet.
You must be hoping that the UCI brings down their 6.8 kilo weight limit so that your riders can race these bikes.
Sure, this is a good point. We think that the weight limit is a kind of dated limit, and now the technology is much further. When you look at our bikes, this is all mass production products. It's not something specially made. And when a bike manufacturer like Stevens can make a bike of 4.8 kilos, I think a reasonable weight limit could be like 5 kilos or 6 kilos, but 6.8 is way too high. And it's like 10 years old, this standard. Now the materials are much more advanced. Also the technology, construction method are more advanced. And the best part of it is these bikes, they are more safe than a 14 kilos steel bike from 20 years ago.
Volker, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm John Stevenson from BikeRadar.com at the Eurobike trade show in Friedrichshafen, Germany. We'll be back over the next few days with more new bikes and gear from Eurobike.